Hello, everybody. My name is David Coltart. Tom Benyon has asked me to speak on behalf of ZANE. As many of you know, in the last few years, I've spoken on several occasions on behalf of ZANE in Britain. This year, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, I've been unable to travel, and Tom has asked me to say a few words regarding ZANE, regarding the situation in Zimbabwe and the ongoing need of ZANE's work in Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe tragically has slid even further down in the last year since I was last in Britain. So there was so much hope for it. But tragically, the country has sunk to arguably its lowest depths ever. The economy is in dire straits. We are now afflicted by hyperinflation, which is running at over 500%, which has seen the collapse of people's savings and incomes and the closure of many businesses. In December last year, the Food and Agricultural Organization estimated that there were between 5 and 7 million Zimbabweans who, as they described it, were food insecure. And that situation has worsened in the last 6 months because the country has been afflicted, at least in the southern part of the country, by another drought. And so we have the specter of people starving, and in a very bad way. Of course, all of that happened prior to COVID-19. And Zimbabwe, although not as badly affected so far by COVID-19 as Britain and other countries in Europe and North America have been, it has still resulted in a complete lockdown, and the country has been locked down for the last 6 weeks. I'm recording this from my study at home because my law firm has been effectively shut for this period. And you can imagine the impact that this has had on businesses and people countrywide, because it comes on top of all of those other things that I've spoken about just now. And it has been utterly devastating, not so much for someone like me, but you can imagine if you're unemployed or if you're a vendor, an informal seller of food or clothing, and suddenly your source of livelihood is cut off. And it is cut off totally because, unlike in Britain and other countries, the government has not been able to pay any support to people. And so people are in an absolutely desperate state. In Bulawayo, the city I live in, there is not a single hospital ready yet, 6 weeks on since the start of the lockdown, to cater for this pandemic. Not one hospital has sufficient oxygen, ICU facilities, specialized medical practitioners necessary to cater for this. And it has fallen to the private sector largely. I've been involved in a peripheral way with some of these initiatives to get some of our medical facilities prepared. And I've seen that it has been primarily the private sector which has rallied round. So we face a growing crisis in Zimbabwe. And as always happens, it's the most vulnerable people who get affected the worst. Pensioners, unemployed people, people with other illnesses, the very people that ZANE does such superb work for. And the need for ZANE is even greater now than ever. And so I appeal to you all. I'm so grateful for the work that Tom and his team at ZANE have done all these years, and for the generosity of your support all these years. I appreciate that must be many other demands on your resources, on your time, on your money in Britain because of the great crisis your nation faces. But I hope that you will consider this appeal and continue to support ZANE so that it in turn can assist these highly vulnerable people in Zimbabwe. I would venture to say that without ZANE's support, many of these people would face an extremely bleak future. Many of them, I have no doubt, would even die without ZANE's support. So thank you all, and may God bless you all and end this terrible pandemic in Britain and throughout the world.